Planned Parenthood is now being sued over the fatal shooting at a Colorado Springs area clinic last year. The suit claims that given the long history of violence at U.S. abortion clinics, Planned Parenthood in Colorado Springs should have implemented safeguards that would have prevented a gunman from going on a shooting rampage that left 3 people dead and 9 wounded on November 27th of last year. The wife of Kiaria Stewart, who was killed, and Samantha Wagner, who suffered a gunshot wound to her arm, accused the clinic of being liable, negligent, and of outrageous conduct in the suit filed on Friday in Denver District Court. And so they are saying that because in the one case a person was killed, and another person as well was killed, but none of their family members are involved in the suit, and another was wounded, that shouldn't have happened and might not have happened had Planned Parenthood used the sort of security that can stop a crazed gunman with an AK-47. That is what they're saying in this particular case.
Yeah, this is super unfortunate. I really wish they hadn't done this lawsuit.
I get it. You lose a family member, you're horrifically injured, you've got terrible medical bills, you feel like something could have gone differently, and perhaps something differently could have gone. But it doesn't feel like the right move.
So, because what'll happen now is, now you'll have a lot more security at the Planned Parenthoods if they win this case, so that they don't get sued. And that'll be a lot more costs. And so then, because of the extra costs, some Planned Parenthoods won't even open.
Yeah.
Others will be more prohibitive, right? And it'll be more intimidating to go to a Planned Parenthood if there's barbed wire all around the place, right?
Yep.
I mean, it is a cascading terrible consequences, and all because a terrorist went and attacked Planned Parenthood. It's another way of, in some ways, letting the terrorists win.
Yeah.
Now, I know that is not their intention. Not remotely, as John said. I understand why they're doing the lawsuit, and they've got going through tremendous grief here. But it's a look at the situation we have now. This guy attacks Planned Parenthood. He's not even going to trial. He's now getting therapy.
He will go to trial.
Maybe.
He'll never be a free man.
Maybe. Okay. Don't underestimate how white he is and how right-wing he is. So
he killed 3 people, an Iraq War veteran and a cop. I don't think he's never walking free. That's my prediction.
Okay, we'll see. Hopefully we won't see. Hopefully he'll never walk free. Okay, but yeah, I mean, Black Lives Matter chanted something that Bill O'Reilly didn't like, so they're against the cops. This guy shot a cop. I don't see Fox News talking about him day and day. Killed a cop, right? Yeah. Anyway, so they think since he's white, he's crazy. Of course, if he was Muslim, there's no way in the world that he would have been adjudicated crazy and get therapy.
Or taken alive in the first place.
Imagine what would happen to a judge if he said, this Muslim terrorist needs therapy. Okay, and that's not how it goes down in America. Anyway, but at the end of the day, he's not even in prison. He's getting treatment, okay? And now Planned Parenthood might have so much more cost, not just for this branch, but all across the country. He's got to be sitting there smiling his crazy smile, crazy like a fox. So this is an absolute disaster.
Yeah, look, I'm honestly surprised that, I mean, there have been various ways that Republicans have tried to shut down access to abortions, or just generally to women's health in any way. I'm surprised that they haven't started some sort of law. You know how they try to shut down the clinics by saying you have to have admitting privileges, you have to have closets that are this wide because they've gone in and measured your closets and they're not that wide, to try to make you either do expensive renovations or to shut you down. I'm surprised that they don't say in response to these acts of terrorism, we're now going to require that if you provide abortions, you have 20 guards at all times.
But by the way,
to starve them out.
No, but John, that's next. That's almost certainly going to happen. The Republicans are going to see this as an opening and go, great. Before, we used to try to shut you down with these things about, in order to have healthy clinics, you have to have hallways that are super wide.
The ceiling has to be so high.
Your hallways aren't that wide. Sorry, you got to shut them all down and go through crazy expense to rebuild the buildings. Now they'll say, we got a perfect scenario here. You're endangering cops and Iraq War veterans and these poor women by not having barbed wire and landmines and a moat in front of your Planned Parenthood because our right-wingers went to go kill you, so now our right-wing politicians will turn around and use that as an advantage to shut your Planned Parenthoods down.
Yeah.
So this is almost as successful a terrorist act as Yigal Amir when he assassinated Yitzhak Rabin and killed the peace process. So, that the people doing the suing, it is not their intent at all. I would be shocked if it was their intent. But unfortunately, the consequences of this could be potentially disastrous. And Robert Deere right now, sitting in some hospital somewhere, he's got to be thinking, hey, I went to war for babies. That's what he says. He's a warrior for the babies. A political statement from a terrorist who clearly knew where to get the guns, where to attack, who to kill,
knew what he was doing.
And had a political manifesto that he wrote ahead of time and presented in court. But somehow he's in a cushy hospital, right? And cushy or otherwise, he's in a hospital getting treatment while his dirty work continues to hurt Planned Parenthood throughout.
Yeah. To give you a little bit of historical context, finally, at least 8 abortion clinic workers have been killed since 1977, and clinics have reported nearly 7,000 incidents of trespassing, vandalism, arson, death threats, and other forms of violence since then, according to the National Abortion Federation.
But again, ironically, all those terrorist acts against Planned Parenthood will be used as arguments against Planned Parenthood.
Yeah.
Well, since we've been terrorizing you all these years, why don't you spend a lot more money protecting yourself against right-wing nut jobs? Otherwise, right-wing politicians will shut you down.
Yeah.
That's what's coming next.